You're listening to a podcast of Reelblack Radio with Mike D and Steph Renee. Fridays 11 a.m. till noon on 900 a.m. WURD. And 900 a.m. WURD.com.
Must be shoes to be slaves to gravity. I dig this song. I'm not sure how this artist pronounces her name, whether it's Kia or Kaya Victoria, but the video for the song Aurora is available on Vimeo.com, which is where we're playing it from. And this whole idea of freedom and how it expresses itself in the music and in the works that people are creating, I think is a fascinating thing. And, I relate to her hair as well. But, just the way that this video is filmed is really, really brilliant. And one of the reasons why we share the song with you is because this song is featured very prominently in the film of the next filmmaker that we will have as a guest, who we'll have on in just a minute. But I dig the vibe of that song, Mike. I dig it a lot.
No, it's a beautiful song. Kaya, I guess it's Kaya Victoria. We'll find out the name, but it's featured prominently in the movie The Fits, which opens today at the Ritz at the Bourse. And she's like super talented. I guess NYU graduate. I think she's on release at this point.
Really?
I think so.
Well, I mean, I would love for the song being featured this prominently in the film, for that to give it the next boost that's necessary for these artists, to get some shine. We talk a lot about how Spike Lee, inadvertently became such a catalyst for a lot of the way that we think about music and film, and the artists that he used, like Keith John, who has the connection right here to Philadelphia, and what he's gone on to do because of his striking vocal resemblance to Stevie Wonder, which has allowed him to tour as a backup singer for Stevie for like the last 25 years, in addition to the other stuff that he's been doing. So.
Yeah, well, I think she's 21, 22 years old.
The young lady
and she's performed a lot with the Postmodern Jukebox. I don't know if you've seen their videos on YouTube. No. They get millions of views.
Nice.
But they basically do live acoustic covers and rearrangements of classic songs. So.
I have to check it out. Yeah, I'm not one of those people that goes down the rabbit hole on YouTube like other folks do. So, some of that stuff I miss. But I can appreciate the fact that people are using social media in order to, really expand audience, to develop audience, expand audience, and just show people what they can do.
Well, this movie, the guests that we have on today, there's a very interesting connection, which we will get to right away. With the movie The Fits and the importance of social media in terms of developing this great piece of art, which again,
groovy. So let's introduce her.
We have on the line. Thank you for joining us, Anna Rose Holmer, who is the writer, producer, and director of the Sundance hit, Venice Film Festival hit, The Fits, which is in theaters now.
Wonderful, Anna. Welcome to WURD.
Thank you so much for having me on air.
Yes. Oh, well, just to clarify, how do you say the singer's name?
Is it Kia or Kaya?
It's Kia.
Okay.
Kia Victoria.
Okay. Love the song, and the use of the song in the movie is just amazing. I mean, I'll just throw all my praise at you now. This movie, I had a chance to see it last night. Just blew me away. It's such a unique piece of art. And then to see like young Black girls featured in the center of it just made me really emotional, especially the way it builds up to its climax. So I would never even try and put this movie in a box. Like, I was reading the descriptions, like, that's not the experience I got. But what I got was like a coming of age story that just was intricate. It was just beautifully done and photographed and directed, and God bless you for making this movie.
Well, I appreciate it, and it's so powerful for me as a filmmaker to hear, when it connects with people, to have the opportunity to have a conversation is one of the most satisfying parts of making a film. So thanks again for having me on to chat.
Yeah, I mean, well, for folks who haven't seen the previews or anything, can you just give us a brief description of how you would describe the film?
Yeah, I feel like similar to what you just said, the more and more I'm asked to describe the film, I feel like the more sparse my description becomes. But it's a genre-blending film, part coming of age, part psychological horror, part dance film about a young girl named Toni as she's kind of finding herself for the first time.
And I just, then the importance of YouTube. I mean, it's like these two disparate ideas can come together in the most unusual way, and then through your eye is amazing. So we're just talking about YouTube and the value of social media. How can you just explain to the audience how social media led you to the Q dancers?
Sure. Yeah. I co-wrote this film with two other women. My brilliant editor, Celia Davis, and my gracious producer, Lisa Kiroff, and we had been developing the idea, kind of musing on it, and we ended up pitching the film for funding to the Venice Biennale in Italy. And we were looking for a dance team. We really wanted to cast all girls who knew each other in our film. We felt like there would be this kind of inherent texture and power that comes from girls who are on the same team. That's something that we were talking about in the film, and we wanted to utilize that special bond, I guess, in the making of the film as well. And so we had been searching for months for a dance team, lots of different types of dance and forms of dance. And the moment I saw the Q Kids on YouTube, is actually YouTube recommended, they kind of start understanding what you're looking for. And they recommended this video. It came up, and it was the first time that I had seen drill in the context of a stand battle. I was more familiar with the kind of majorette field show side of drill. But the stand battle, which was the Q Kids doing a stand battle, just spoke to me, this kind of inherent call and response and mirroring aspect of the dance form itself, as well as the kind of beautiful incorporation of very mundane, or what I call kind of mundane movements, the hair flip, or punches or laughing built into the choreography itself. It was so exciting, so electric. And I actually just called, 15 seconds into seeing the video, I called my producer and I was like, it's the Q Kids. They're in Cincinnati. We got to figure this out. And we never formally asked any other team to be part of this process. Their founder, Marquisia Jones-Woods, came on as a really integral part of the film. She's associate producer, and kind of the generosity of that community is really what made this film so special, and was a deep collaboration, was so full of joy to really be able to work with them. So it became about drill and set in Cincinnati because of the decision to collaborate with the Q Kids, this group of a couple hundred girls based in the West End. And we're so grateful that they came on board with us.
Nice. Well, I'm curious about how you feel about being able to present girlhood or womanhood on film in the climate that we're in right now. I had the pleasure of talking to Ava DuVernay as she was getting all the accolades related to Selma. And, she graciously received them, but she's like, I'll be really glad when we're not always talking about still being the first of these kinds of things, and the way that in the modern era, we are still breaking down so many barriers as it relates to representation in film in many ways. And so this is clearly a female-led effort that focuses on coming of age in this way. And so how you feel about being able to present this subject matter with a very female-led team and process for you?
Well, one of the things that I'm most proud about, and I think a team is that from every step of the way, we included many varied voices in this process, and our film is stronger because of it. And I think that as filmmakers, it is about your voice, but it's also about listening. And it's such a collaborative effort to make a film. It is not just a single voice shouting, and I think that it's, for me, so powerful seeing kind of the culmination of many voices and what it means on screen for that to be alive. I really admire Ava DuVernay as a leader and an advocate and a voice for many in this industry. But like she said, I think I'm also looking forward to the time when it's not novel or kind of the focus of every conversation. But I think, it has to start there. And I think that what is kind of quote unquote universal has been so narrow for so long. And I think it's opening up and broadening, and that's exciting and necessary.
Yes.
Well, can you speak a little to your stylistic approach of making the film? I mean, you haven't seen the film yet, Steph. But,
no, I haven't.
But like the first I'd say 15 minutes, there's maybe 5 words of dialogue, and Royalty, the lead actress, she maybe says 3 things, but you're completely captivated the entire time, so it just seemed to me like you might have taken an inside out approach to telling the story.
Yeah, we see this as a dance film from the opening frame when you see Tony, who's played by Royalty Hightower in the film, doing sit-ups to the closing credits. And some of that is presented in kind of a traditional dance format, but every kind of narrative element that we approached and tackled in this film has to play out physically with our cast. And it's about kind of negotiating your identity in the context of your body and how other people see your body and how you see your body. And it's a very physical story. And it's about kind of juxtaposing this very internal state of this young girl, this 11-year-old, with her external world. And yeah, so we, from the very early phases of this film, saw it as a dance film and really pushed the story into movement-based storytelling. There is dialogue in the film. It is just not our, I guess, key tool that we use to get inside of our characters' heads. Mm.
No, and again, The Fitz is the movie. It opens today at the Ritz of the Bourse, which is at 4th and Randstead. Mm-hmm. And Reelblack, we're hosting a movie meetup on Sunday at 1:25 to go support the film, go see it together, and then talk afterwards. But, what's the reception been like? I was in the same room as you at Sundance at the Array soiree, but we didn't get a chance to talk. What was it like premiering your film first in Venice and then in Park City?
It's been tremendous and exciting and magical and overwhelming. And, we made this film, it was such a labor of love from my entire team. And it was really special to premiere at Venice, who was the Venice Biennale, a separate funding organization in Italy, was our key funder. So it meant a lot to be able to play there and to make this film really as completely funded by nonprofit support has been really amazing to have it land in these places that are kind of the keystones into hitting audiences across the country and across the world. And it's really overwhelming in the best way. And to have people respond so personally and so many various types of people see connections and endpoints to Tony as versions of themselves, and that's what's most exciting for us, I think, as filmmakers.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about the fact that you mentioned supported by nonprofit support. We have so many conversations here on the program and just in our general society about crowdfunding and all the other ways that independent filmmakers are trying to find a way to get it done. When you mentioned nonprofit support, my brain immediately goes to Melvin Van Peebles, but it's also, this idea of we are having a global conversation about the human experience. And so it should be that we don't always have to go to crowdfunding or these other sources in order to try and get these films made, but that should be the universality of the message that you're trying to put across should appeal to other foundations and organizations that would like to see this work come to be in the world.
Yeah, we felt like from, the way that we approached this film was through seeking grant support. We felt like it would allow us the freedom to tell the story that we really wanted to tell in the way we wanted to. The Venice Biennale, like I said, was our key funder in Italy, but we also got support in the States from the Sundance Institute, Rooftop Films, and Cinereach here in the States. And we're, forever grateful for not just their support of the end product, but for us as artists in a time when it's very difficult to make work in general. So we're very grateful. And you also mentioned Array, which there's a meetup at Sundance. But I think that there are many both profit and nonprofit institutions in this country that are doing good, risky, daring, bold work. And I hope, whenever I get a chance to shout about that, I also want to make sure I can do that.
Yeah, and big shout out to Oscilloscope Labs who put that out. Also put out Mother of George, they know how to market these things. But the last thing I'll say is it's a very sublime movie. But I think it's really important in this time because there's so many movies where you see Black youth, especially where it's like we're Black Lives Matter, like we're victims or whatever. I mean, you know, this is a movie where you just get to see people be and become, and I think it's really important especially if you have young kids, like young tweens and teens, definitely take your daughters to go see this movie. It'll definitely empower them, and even if you just like seeing really original, strong voices, this is a movie to check out this weekend. So, Adam, I really appreciate you taking the time to give us a call, and I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thanks so much also for doing the meetup. It means so much to us as filmmakers.
Yeah. We'll send pictures. We'll tweet.
Great. All right. Take care. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Take care.
Right, thanks.
And that's how we continue our conversation about Black film and television. New voices, strong voices, powerful imagery. That's how we do it every Friday here on Real Black Radio. We're going to take another quick break and come back and conclude today's episode with some more ideas about what you can download, buy on DVD, and what have you over this weekend and into the summer. Stay tuned.
You've been listening to a podcast of Real Black Radio with Mike D and Steph Renee. Fridays 11 a.m. till noon on 900 AM WURD. And 900 AM WURD.com. Follow us on your favorite social media like Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for up-to-date information at 900 AM WURD and at Real Black.